in general, all these committees and clubs are student driven. You are responsible for whatever is happening, from finances to your logistics to interactions, everything.
One thing that I would like to tell everyone, that get every word in your mind, whatever she said right now, because you can watch this same clip on loop, and after you get into your MBA college, and then you'll say whatever she said word by word is 100% correct. Hi guys, welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host Himanshi Singh, and this is the podcast organized by Skilled Sapiens. I hope you are doing well, and today we have a guest, Geetika Dhruv, who is part of student committee as alumni relation in a college and is currently pursuing her MBA. Hi Geetika. So it's Monday and Monday blues. So how are you doing?
So Monday blues. Through that, I have to go to my office in 1.5 hours actually. So mentally preparing myself for that, for the internship.
Okay. So as we are here because you're a part of like alumni relation. So how it's going out there?
It's good actually, because I have been able to learn a lot of new things, and
Yeah.
the committee work doesn't stop even if you are doing your internship.
Exactly, I
So you
know
have to
that.
juggle both the things. So it's like you learn time management, you learn the importance of time actually.
Yeah. So, in alumni relation, like you're a part of alumni relation. So, what is that one thing that drives you to alumni relation? Because there's to work for alumni relation, like there's corporate relation and there's everything, L&D and then alumni relation. So, what the perk that you get in alumni relation, which makes you like, I want to work for this committee?
So there are several perks. First is you get to connect with all the stakeholders outside your college.
Yeah,
So alums are not inside your institute. Your stakeholders completely are outside your institute, and you need to. There is a different way that you have to conduct yourself, basically.
yeah,
So when you're interacting with them, and since they are from your institute, so they know what you have are going through. So interacting with them is completely different, and it basically motivates you to. Uh, you know that you are going to reach somewhere because they are already there,
yeah.
and that is one thing. And other thing is that it's completely out of my comfort zone. It was, I would say. So before I decided on alumni relations, I want to focus on that committee, even though I did had apply for others. But why alumni was, I thought it would help me grow as a person more than any other committee would.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, that is
So
there.
can you please tell us in brief that about yourself and the club committee you're a part of, like alumni relation in a whole, that what does your club and committee does and why, what is your role over there?
Okay, so as for myself, to introduce myself, I would be that I am a BSc Environmental Science graduate, and then other than that, I got into MBA because of my interest into the business side of all the things that is environmental science.
Yeah,
And apart from my career and other academic goals, I love photography, so I'm
that's interesting.
extremely passionate about it. So I love it, and I also like designing, so I do that too. It's just a hobby, and that is what I'm most interested in. And other than that, I am a skating player, roll ball player, if you would be aware of that. So sports is something that I enjoy as well. Other than that, it would be like, from all these things, I would say that I don't like sitting. I like to be engaged and work, or at least do something in my free time rather than just sitting. Sometimes I do sit and read, which is really important for me, but other than that. And for the committee, it actually enables me to work and do activities in my free time, not only free time but in general. So you for as for the committee, as it states, it's alumni relations, so you need to connect, basically make a connection between and build a connection along with maintain it between your institute and the alums that are there.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that is the basic core concept. Other than that, there are various ways that you interact. So you host events for the alums on behalf of your institute. So that's like the networking events. So basically, we have imprints in our institute. So that this happens in three cities. So in Mumbai, in Delhi, and in Bangalore. So as a host, you have to go there. Your committee members, your members, they arrange everything. We have to do that from scratch. And then one of the main event is Anusmriti that happens. So that is basically homecoming. We celebrate the 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years of our alum batches. So
Okay.
that is, you are hosting them, you're bringing them back to the institute, and that instilling nostalgia, I would say, when they're coming back. So for that also, you have to do every single thing from scratch. So it's basically event planning, which is involves a lot of departments that you need to interact with and manage, which becomes very hectic, I would say, along with
But in
going
short, it's
along with your
learning as
MBA
well.
course.
But yeah, and it's
It
learning as well.
is, it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's a complete
Always,
package
it
learning
is.
because ultimately you're learning how to manage things all around you, and it's good
Of
for you
course,
us
yes.
only. Yeah, yeah. So, what kind of activities and events, like you already told us that it's events and activities all around when you're in alum relation. So, what do you think that
Yes.
being a part of this club and committee is helping you in your holistic development, your individual holistic development?
Okay, being part of the committee, first thing is that it instills a sense of, you know, uh, understanding of how everything works. You need to know how you need to conduct yourself when you're interacting with anyone, even if it is your the politeness that is there, you need to have it even if you want to be strict enough. So that kind of code of conduct, I would say, is instilled, which honestly I think I needed. How to be assertive yet polite, not being rude to anyone.
Yeah.
And even though sometimes it happens that some somewhere or the other people don't understand what you are trying to say, or they are angry with certain things, or but you need to be patient enough to handle that thing. I can't exactly explain or tell what it is, because but still it's like you have to be patient enough to handle any kind of uh, issues or problems that you are faced with. And along with that, for me personally, would be my communication skills have improved a lot, along with my designing skills, because we need to design a lot of things. So that is there, that's a perk, that I get to design stuff, uh, and make posters and everything that gets circulated and gets posted on our official handles. But along with that, my communication skills, my way of I'm conducting myself have improved from what I was before I joined. So that is there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing that I would like to tell to all the folk, that one thing which is more important when you're a part of any club and committee, which is very important for your development, that you develop yourself interpersonally a lot. Like the communication skills that we develop being a part of a committee, being a part of a student committee, being a part of the placement committee, you have to interact with a lot of folks out there, and interacting with all of them, maintaining a relationship with your seniors, your faculty, and guest your onboarding. And that's a lot of perks, I would say, because in MBA, what we are here and what we're paying for is placement and networking. End of the day. That is something which is more important above anything else.
True that.
Networking is like, you won't realize right now if you are the folks who are currently going to apply for the MBA, but the moment you'll enter an MBA college, you'll realize that networking is one best thing that you made it here, and you're networking with a lot of folks because I guess importance of networking wasn't there in our undergrad, right? Like in undergrad, it was not more emphasized on that you have to do networking and you have to be a part of alum relation. And there's this committee,
Yes,
placement committee, alum relation, everything came into the light when there's postgrad. Because MBA is like you have to get placement any which ways. There's no other option for you. So yeah, networking is the key to placement, I believe, because the more you network, the more you get on your plate. And next, I would like to ask you that can you please tell us about that? How did you got selected into your committee? Like, was there an interview selection process? Throw some light on that.
oh yeah, it was so hectic. I still remember it. So
Yeah.
it was the initial days of your college. Okay, I just got into MBA, just got
Yeah.
into SIIB, and the induction program is going on. You're doing multiple stuff. So there is this, I would say, a networking ice-breaking competition that is there, which is named Bots. So you have to do that. We were participating. We were divided into teams. The whole batch was, and we had to work on various events. And along with that, we were doing a committee rounds. So all the committee rounds for the corporate relations, your public relations, as well as the alumni relations, was happening simultaneously. So we were basically giving 3 interviews, 4 interviews in a day.
Hmm.
And along with that also, we had different projects, group activities, group presentations that we had to do. Stress rounds were also there. So stress round is to check whether you will be able to handle the pressure or not. So you're asked random questions, you have to do random things, which was quite fun now that I think about it. But at that time, I was extremely stressed. But only thing that was driving me was that I wanted to get into a committee. Especially, I was hoping it would be alumni relations. So I was working hard, and of course, you have that. There are team activities that happen. You need
Yeah.
to know how to work in a team, which is really important. And I was very grateful that we did get a lot of team work or team projects that we had to do. Then there were various interviews that
Hmm.
happened, and after that, there was this final interview round that is there with our director.
Hmm.
So in that, I was selected for the final rounds for corporate relations and alumni relations, and I was hoping that I'll get into alumni relations, which I got into. So I'm really really happy. And the final interview was I was the first candidate to go and interview, so I was extremely nervous, and I was like, this is a do or die situation because after that, I don't know. Either I'll get into a committee or I won't at all.
I
I
guess
thought like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so in MBA, that's one thing that we have learned altogether that uh, going and giving your best is the only thing that you can do. Be it an
Exactly.
interview for your internship, be it an interview for your
Yeah.
committees, it an interview for your life projects, your final placements. The one thing which comes to our mind all the time is like, this is the only chance I can
Yeah.
prove myself. And every time you think the same, even if you're sitting for like 20
Yes.
companies in a row, at that point, the same feeling comes to your mind that I'll go and give my 100% rest. Rest, nothing is in my hand. Because sometimes I believe it's also your luck somewhere. Because like if you're
Yes, it
getting
does play.
rejected again and again and again and again, that's not a thing that there's something which is lagging in you. There might be that this is not your day. This is just not your day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
the
something
other
better
day,
is there for
yeah,
you.
or yeah, exactly. Something better is actually waiting for you out there to be a part of it. So, yeah, I have seen a lot of people who are not a part of placement committee, but are presidents in other committees and are doing really, really, really great, have secured their internships through these things. So yeah, people are doing good. Like
Exactly.
yeah, even if you don't get selected out there, so don't need no need to like worry about that. Geetika made it and I didn't. So yeah,
No, no. It's eventually MBA, I would think, is to participate in as many things as you can because that's how you grow. It's not
yeah,
about just
exactly.
academics
It's about
because you need to
participation.
grow personally. Yes, it's about
Yeah,
participation, and
yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter if you are in any specific committees that you hope for, but if you get the chance to get into any other
Like,
club also,
yeah,
it's amazing.
exactly, like we need like I need to tell one thing to the folks out there, because we are promoting these clubs and committee, and we are making you understand the mindset of the people who are already there, because we want to help you in order to participate. But there's one thing that I would like to tell you, that it's not important that you make it to a certain committee. You need to keep trying in those committee, appearing in those committee, because ultimately it's going to be fruitful for you at the end of the day, or at the end of the month, at the end of the year. Because if you're appearing for like 10 interviews, 20 interviews for a committee, imagine how strong you'll be if you're appearing for your first internship interview, because you're already prepared. You're done and dusted from that phase, that fear of sitting in an interview room and giving interview to 5 6 people who are about to rag you almost your seniors, and yeah, pulling
Yes,
you. Yeah, so
that that
that's
is there. It
that's
it yeah. To actually add on to your point would be that it prepares you, as you mentioned, that
exactly
even if it is offline, online, you know how it is. You are not as nervous as you were the first time
the first
that
time.
you are
Yeah,
going that you set. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I might ask you one more question, that
No problem.
you also might have friends like who haven't made it to the committee but are doing good now. So
Yes.
can you give a certain example?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so few of them actually are very good friends of mine, and they aren't in the committee, but they have
Mm.
secured. They they're really good at participating in other competitions, case study competitions. They're extremely good. When it comes to me, I haven't been able to participate in as many as they are, and they are actually winning national competitions as well, which is really amazing. One of my friends recently, actually, he that team basically was the third runner up in the national case study competition related to I think sustainability competition it was. So they had to give a basic a solution about how to use electric vehicles, and they were the third national runner-ups, which is like amazing. And they are not in any, all three of them in fact are not part of any committees. So that
Yeah.
is also there. Is this the success is not defined by you being in one committee. It helps you a lot, but there are various other ways through which that you can grow actually. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like
don't get disheartened if you're not in a committee, I would say.
exactly. So yeah. So what advice would you like to give and motivate people to be a part of some club and committee, like to participate, that you should do that?
Okay, so advice. I am not, I think, not the right person to give extreme advice, but still being part of the committee, I say is that you learn every single day. And if you're enthusiastic about learning, which is really important, I would say,
Yes, I
learning is
agree.
the eventual thing that you need to focus on. So, learning every single day, there is something new that is happening. It's not monotonous, your life is exciting, so that is there. And time management, you learn time management. Even if you are a procrastinator, you know you need to commit, you have to deliver this has to happen because you are the sole in charge, because all these committees and clubs are student driven most of the time. And I think it's common for all the MBA colleges. So that is there. It is in general, all these committees and clubs are student driven. You are responsible for whatever is happening, from finances to your logistics to interactions, everything. And you learn how to work in a team, which is going to help you throughout your life. That is what I've understand. Being 2 weeks into my internship, teamwork is really important
I
because
agree.
you have to work in a team. You don't have any you are going to be a part of a team, that too. At when you start, it's like you're learning things.
And
If a
that
team
too,
you don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
go
and
ahead.
that too, yeah, and that too, a team where you don't know the maximum number of people. You are like put into a
Exactly.
group, and in your college. And I'm sorry to disturb you, but one thing that I would like to tell everyone, that get every word in your mind, whatever she said right now. because you can watch this same clip on loop, and after you get into your MBA college, and then you'll say whatever she said word by word is 100% correct. Because when in MBA college, you actually learn how to manage your time when you're working in a committee. That is the most important thing, because you have to do everything all together. I I can bet on that she also participates in a lot of competitions. I can like assume. Yeah.
True.
So yeah, because I also do, and I'm also part of a committee. So being a part of the committee, participating in the competitions, being a part of a live project, doing an internship, everything goes hand in hand. And at the same time, you have to focus on your social well-being. You have to interact with your friends. You have to keep your mental health on priority. Make sure you're exploring the city you're living in. You are spending your weekends well, if you are getting the weekend, because not every Sunday is a Sunday in a B school.
Exactly.
So get
True
that in
that.
your head. Not every Sunday is a
And
Sunday in a B school. So no, it's not. So yeah. So
yeah,
the next question
it's
would be
like
like,
COVID,
exactly.
when you
Eh,
forgot the days, basically. Oh, today is
Yeah.
Monday. Oh, I thought it was Friday. Oh God, I
Yeah.
need the submission to be completed.
Because
You're,
yeah.
it goes by submission dates. Okay, so this day I have to submit. So this is the day of the week,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
But it's
That's how
really,
you.
and along with that, yeah, one more point to add: everything you need to maintain your academics as well, which is
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
important. You can't. It is also there, so it's really, it's very, it keeps you on your foot all
I
the
would say
second.
it's
That's the way I
hectic.
would.
I would say it's hectic, but it's exciting.
Yeah,
Matlab
that's it.
you
Yeah, yeah,
learn a
yeah, go
lot
ahead.
of
Sorry.
things. Yeah, yeah. So you learn a lot of things.
It's extremely, the thing is that it keeps you on your foot every single second, so it's like every single day is something new, which makes it really very exciting and engaging.
Yeah,
When you are doing something, I don't know, you get new things to do every single day, and either
yeah,
you are in a committee or a club, you just get more new things to explore. So that is very, that is amazing, I think.
yeah. And for the most important thing, I would like to ask you that the benefit you get being in a committee of being acknowledged by everyone. Please
Oh
tell them
yeah.
about that. I would.
So there are multiple benefits. So being in alumni relations team, the thing is that I have to, as I mentioned about imprints. So you have to go to the cities. So everything, you go to a city, you go to a new city, you are in this five-star hotel. So I happened at Marriott, the Bangalore imprints where I went. So it happened at JW Marriott. So you're going there, then you're exploring that city as well, and everything you do is through college. I mean, your institute, you don't have to pay, it gets
Yeah,
reimbursed, so you are exploring a new city and you don't have to pay. So like me being uh I mean, travel enthusiast, I enjoy it. And then, keeping that aside, in your institute as well, since you are a part of a committee, you get a certain level of respect,
yeah,
because that is there, you are doing some work, and it is, you're doing extra work, taking out the time from your own personal time. You have to do that, because as I mentioned, it is your responsibility, or the committee becomes your personal responsibility and your team's responsibility. So you get that respect. Then you are also interacting with higher authorities more, so you're interacting with the board members, with the director frequently. Then you get to interact, then you would get to interact as a normal student, I
yeah.
would say.
Hmm.
So that gives a different, that again helps you to build connections, helps you to understand how to make connections and interact with higher authorities, basically. So that is amazing. And other than that, depending on the institute, you get like requisitions and everything. So requisitions are basically, if you're missing few classes, you get the attendance, which is good. Like,
Yeah.
what else do you need? I
Yeah.
mean,
So, and
you
also,
need to maintain the attendance
yeah,
as well.
exactly, exactly. So, one thing that I would like to tell them that is really important to like participate at least in the clubs and committee, because it does comes with a lot of perks and benefits when and when the moment you like, I would also like to ask that I know, but I want you guys also to know that the benefit of adding something into your CV that you have worked along with your academics.
Yeah.
Please go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, one of the major benefits. Oh God, I forgot that. Yeah, it's your CV building. It's so important. Being in a committee, adding
Hmm.
something in your CV new every single, not new every single time, but you have to stand out in certain ways, because all of the competition is there. Everyone knows it, right? So you need to add something new, and the committee basically gives you a pathway to add something new in your CV, which builds your CV, makes your CV strong, and a bit different from what is there that everyone is doing.
Yeah,
So
because
your
it
CV
basically,
is, yeah,
exactly, that goes up and up and up. Because it throws a
it
light
does.
on your CV amongst that crowd. Because
Yeah,
now people are able to recognize that, okay, so she has done this work also. Matlab, she can network also, she can manage her work also, and she can do everything all together. So
yeah,
let's try.
yes.
Let's give a chance on her. So that's one thing that you always get a benefit of if you're part of a committee, club and committee. And if you're not a part of not a part of any club and committee, neither you are performing in case competition, nor you have done any life projects, that is something you can't afford in a B school. You can't afford being in a B school and sitting, taking a back seat, focusing on your academics. Academics is something by hook or by crook you have to do good. You can't even think of not doing good in your academics, because ultimately you have to get your final placement, pay back all the loans if you ever have taken, or paid back to your parents who have done a lot for you now, and that's the time with you have to like return back everything. But in a B school you can't afford to like take a back seat and just focus on your academics, get good grades and done. No. Yeah,
That
continue.
is true, because adding on to your point would be, when you sit for an interview, what are you going to talk about? You need to
Exactly.
talk about your achievements, your committee. Since you are a part of committee, it gives you few lines to talk about the committee itself. So your interview,
Hmm.
you can stir the interview the way that you want to. Aside from your academics and the certification courses that you have done, your interview is based on your CV, at least the first few rounds, I would say. And that becomes
Yeah,
really important. So that is one of, when you think about that, how you are able to portray yourself. It is for them, the first view, your first impression would be through your CV, then you interacting with them. So
exactly. And if you
yeah, CV
observe
building
that,
is
yeah,
extremely important.
exactly. And if you observe
Yeah.
that people who are working in various clubs and committee getting placed first, like not just in placement committee, but overall all the clubs, finance club, marketing club, all the clubs out there, and people are getting placed early. If a few people are getting placed early, one of the reasons could also be this, that they are actively participating in everything. So, and getting judges on board and everything, calling all the guests from outside, organizing these guest lectures, L&D, because they're interacting more with the people outside, and they already now know how to deal with it. So that
Yeah.
confidence that comes in you, that now I can talk to anyone, be it a CEO, be it a director, be it anybody out there. I am capable enough to convey my message to him. So the moment you get that confidence, you are able to sit in an interview and do well. But the ice break moment, jab tak wo that is not happening, you're not gonna like bear with an interview, because it's a lot. Sitting in an interview and
it,
answering to the panel, it takes a lot. Yeah.
it does. That is true. You ask questions which are technical, then they switch to
Hmm.
something else based on your answer. it
I
is
agree.
it is a roller coaster ride in itself, but not to terrify people of interviews. It is good if you know, if you're ready, and you know what you have done, then it is a cakewalk because you're confident enough. Confidence is one thing that you should not let go of when you are getting into an interview, either it being a committee or for your placements or for internships or life projects. I would say that is there.
A lot of relatable things are coming out in this podcast. So, one thing that I would like to tell, like, she would relate 100%, that the more number of rejections you're getting in your summer internship process is merrier, because you won't realize it at that point, because even I didn't. I was like, ab kya hoga mera? That was the only thing getting in my head back then, that I faced 18 rejections 18 rejections I faced. Like overall, including the CV rejection and then from the companies and everything, because it takes a lot. Sometimes I was like, after 7, 8, I was like first 5, 6 times my CV didn't got shortlisted. Then I knew how to start working on my CV. Then a few rounds, I didn't got into GD. Then when I started getting into GD and interview and everything, then I qualified till the last round, and then I was like out of the process due to some of the other reason.
The last
So
round rejections are
the
extremely
worst,
hurtful,
worst,
the
yeah,
worst, because you're like, okay, I am capable enough, it's just that they don't want, because it's not
yeah,
related. And the interview, you don't know if you're gonna get placed or not, you don't know what the company wants, so it becomes, oh god, it's something
yes.
else.
So yeah,
I
so the
extremely
number of,
relatable.
exactly. So the number of rejections you're getting in your clubs and committee, your SIP process, your life projects. It's good for you because, yeah, end of the day, you're gonna make to a company in your summer internship process. That's not something you need to stress about. I realize now, maybe she also realized now, after like everybody's placed, everybody's doing their internships. We are like, now we can say that everybody's gonna get placed in their summer internships now or some days later. But yeah, that makes you more strong, and rejections that you face in the clubs and committee and interview, these things make you even stronger about yourself. They're like they build you, because ultimately you're learning things about you, that what are your capabilities, what you can do, what's your patience level, right?
Yes, that is extremely correct, because more rejection you face, the more would say strong your character gets. As in, you become, I know what my, you become more confident with yourself at after some point.
Hmm.
You do feel extremely bad, but at the same time, you are also understanding it's not just, you are learning, you are building yourself, which is really important. With the every rejection, it's like you try to, why did this happen? When you ask that question, it becomes, you are introspecting, and that helps you to improve, which builds your confidence and your character as well, which
I
is which
agree.
is really important, I think.
I agree. So, Geetika, last question I would like to ask you, that what are the three things that you would want to suggest to your juniors who are coming now, want to join an MBA college and want to be a part of the placement committee, the hyped placement committee. So, what are your suggestions, three suggestions for them?
First thing is be patient.
Mm,
Second is never leave your humility,
yeah,
even if you get into any committee, especially placement committee. You will have to do a lot of selfless work. Get that in your mind, basically. So one of my closest friends, he's with me since my bachelor's. So he is in the placement committee. He was very excited, and he's really happy that he got into it. But this thing, you have to do a lot of selfless work. You have to get your badge placed. Okay, it's just not for your own placements.
and it's not a
Get
joke.
this needs to be written, and it's not a joke. It is never a joke. You have a lot of pressure. And third thing is, never lose your aim. Don't get deviated from what you want to do. Okay, what you want to achieve. These three things are really important. If you are okay with these three things, if you are able to maintain two of them, I would say at a time, at least, it becomes, then it will become really easy. And fourth thing that I would add is, even if you don't get into a committee, it's not the end of the world. There are multiple things that you can do. There are various events. There are small, I would say, temporary committees that do become that do form during the course of your MBA for various events that are there. Try to get into it. Try to take initiatives. The more initiatives
Yeah.
you take, the better it is. So
Yeah,
that is what I would say.
I truly agree with that thing because at the end of the day, everything is about initiatives. Everything is about that one step that you're taking ahead in that direction. So a big thank you to you, Geetika, for being on board with us, and it was a lovely session,
Thank you.
very insightful. I hope all the folks out there who are going to appear in the MBA college in the coming years are going to learn a lot of things from this podcast, and the part which I told you, like you can watch on loop and it'll be there in your head again and again. I'm pretty sure about that. You all will be able to relate with that. With that, this podcast comes to an end, and I hope you would have liked this podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Skilled Sapiens. Thank you.